Hey guys, so it is Friday night and I am just sitting in bed because I'm exhausted. But I just wanted to make a video because I am going to film my ovulation testing this month, and I am cycle day 11 today, so tomorrow I'm going to start taking ovulation tests. But I just thought I would make a video about like what I'm doing to track my ovulation and how it's going. So for anybody who doesn't know, basically there's different signs that can tell you whether you are going to ovulate or not. And ovulation, like the days leading up to ovulation and the day you ovulate, are the only days in your cycle that you can actually get pregnant. So pinpointing those days is really important. For somebody like me who has like problems with ovulation and long cycles and missed cycles and PCOS, it's not always just regular. So I don't know how my ovulation tracking is going to actually work, but for anybody who just has like a normal, healthy period cycle, all that, tracking ovulation can help you get pregnant a lot faster. So I thought I would just, kind of show you guys what I'm doing each day throughout the cycle. Like I said, I'm cycle day 11 today, which means that the first day of my last period was 11 days ago or 10 days ago. So like day 1 of your cycle is the first day of your last period, and then day 2, day 3, day 4, all the way up until you get another period, and that's day 1 again. So typically ovulation happens around like cycle day 14 to 16, like halfway through, and then you get a period about 2 weeks later. So for me, the last 2 months I've actually had one 30-day cycle and one 36-day cycle, but before that it's been like 2 months or 10 weeks, 11 weeks in between cycles, and I'm not convinced I even ovulated in there. So we'll see what happens this month. I'm excited to track it. I have been doing something new, which is taking my basal body temperature over the past 3 days. And I haven't wanted to do it, one, because it's just like a hassle every single morning to do it, and I just didn't see like how to find a pattern or whatever with it, because basically your body temperature is low the first half of your cycle, and then I guess it dips right before ovulation, I think, and then it goes up after ovulation. So that can help confirm like when you ovulated. So by the time it goes up, it's already too late to to get pregnant, because you've already ovulated and you have to get pregnant, like you have to have sex before you ovulate, because once you ovulate the egg like dies within like 12 hours, I think. But it will still give you like a better idea for future cycles of when you're gonna ovulate. So I found an app that I've seen people talk about, and I checked it out, and it's called Fertility Friend. And the first month you can get for free, so I just downloaded it and I haven't paid for it yet. But it's pretty cool because it you can put in your cycle and your symptoms every day, and then it has a place to put in your basal body temperature. And you take your temperature with a special thermometer called a basal body thermometer, and it just has it's a little more accurate than your average thermometer. It goes to like 2 decimals. So like this morning my temperature was like 97.33 or something. And so you have a place you can put it in, and then it makes this little chart of your basal body temperature, and it'll basically predict where your ovulation was that month. So so that's pretty cool. So helps kind of helps you figure out a little bit more when you ovulated, using the basal body temperature as like a method of tracking. And then it also has places to enter what was your cervical mucus like, because that's another thing that changes throughout your cycle. On days that you had your period, what days were they, how was your period, heavy, light, whatever. And then you can also put in like days that you had intercourse, so you know like what days you had sex, and then compared to when you ovulated, so you see if you even had a chance. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing so far. So tomorrow I'm going to take an ovulation test in the morning, and then see what it says. Also with PCOS, I get like false positive ovulation tests, so I'm not relying completely on that, and that's part of why I wanted to do the basal body temperature tracking along with the ovulation tests. But I still think that, you know, the ovulation tests maybe can be helpful, and along with the tracking of my temperature, maybe I can learn to read the ovulation tests a little bit better. So that's my plan, and I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. So this is actually the Fertility Friend app, and this is not sponsored, by the way. I just want to show you guys. So you can see I put in my cycle. I'm on cycle day 11, and if you click on a day, you can like enter your basal body temperature, what time you took your temperature, you know, what your cervical fluid was like, what your period was like if you had it, when you had sex, if you had sex, and any other notes that you want to put in there. And then if you go back down to the main screen and scroll down a little bit, there's this chart that kind of tracks your cycle, and as you put in your temperature, it'll create this little graph to show you when your temperature spikes after ovulation, so you can confirm that you ovulated. So that's pretty much it. Check it out. Hey guys, so I woke up a few minutes ago and I'm going to take an ovulation test. I'm actually going to take 2 different types of tests. The test I'm going to take, one is this first response ovulation test. It's just the one with like the 2 lines. And then the other one I've never tried before. It's this clear blue, like digital. It just has like the circle or the smiley. There's no like flashing smiley. This is the one my reproductive endocrinologist's office recommended. So I don't trust them, so I'm gonna take 2. So those are the 2 I'm gonna try this cycle. I have to look at the instructions for this because I haven't done it before. Usually there's like a little like digital thing, and then these little sticks that you put in. So I'm just not sure how long you have to dip it for and how long you have to wait. Okay, so you dip it for 15 seconds. I always don't understand why. So if you like put it under your pee while you're peeing, which is really hard, and you get pee everywhere, so I don't ever do that. It says 5 to 7 seconds, but if you're gonna put it in a cup and dip it, then it says 15 seconds. So I don't know why you would do it that way. It would seem like if you're peeing on it, you would be more likely to miss, so you should do it longer, but I don't know. So so let me take these tests and I'll be right back. They make these so hard to open. Like, there we go. Okay, so it has this little thing, and you just pop it in there, and then take off this little cap and dip it. Okay, now we wait. So here's what they look like. This one, the pee like ran through and it's starting to show up a little bit. This one, it just ran through and that's blinking, so I'm not sure how long that'll blink for. Hi, Miles. You want breakfast, huh? Miles, hi. He's looking for breakfast. If you have a cat that wakes you up in the morning because they want you to feed them, don't do it. When like you get up, don't feed them. I think for at least like half an hour or to an hour, and then they will stop waking you up in the morning because they don't connect waking you up with getting fed, so they just don't bother. Yeah.
So it's been a few minutes. This one's still like kind of developing, but you can see it's definitely negative. Like the test line on the left is definitely darker than the line on the right. And then this one also just popped up negative. So that's good actually, because I'm only on cycle day 12. So if it came up positive, it wouldn't be real, I don't think, and it would be because like my LH, which is the hormone that it tests for, would be too high, and with PCOS a lot of times your LH is high, you know, higher all the time or more of the time than it should be. So the fact that these are negative is good, because cycle day 12 I really shouldn't be getting a positive quite yet. Maybe tomorrow or the next day, but even then I think it would be kind of early, especially for me. So we'll test again tomorrow. So one last thing, I decided to buy the full version of the Fertility Friend app, because with the full version you can put in pictures of your ovulation tests, which I thought was kind of like a cool thing, easy way to like keep track of it, because usually I like take a picture in my photos, and then when I'm like scrolling through stuff I have like all these ovulation tests, and I don't want people to see that. So I'm thinking it can get saved in the app, plus it'll put it on that day that you took it, so you can kind of see the progression over the days. So I did buy the full version of the app this morning. It was like 25 bucks for a year, or you could do like $10 for 1 month or whatever. I was just like, whatever, $25, and I don't have to worry about it for a year, and if I get pregnant sooner, awesome. And like that's tons of money I would save on all these ovulation tests anyway. So I'm gonna put those pictures of these tests in there, and then after a few days of testing we'll see like what the progression looks like. So one last thing, the digital one, when you pop it out, it's just like a normal ovulation test. So you can see like the test line or the control line on the right and the test line on the left. So it's kind of hard to read, harder than the other one that's not meant to be put in the digital reader, but you can see that like the line on the left is a lot lighter. So if your digital reader like breaks or something, doesn't mean that you can't like kind of read it yourself anyway. Good morning, guys. I just woke up. I took my basal body temperature, put it in my app, and then I peed and dipped my tests. They're going through right now. One tip is if you're peeing in a cup, keep the cup until the tests are done like processing, because in case one of them like is faulty or something, then you can do another one. So let's see what they say. So they're both negative again, which is normal and fine at this point. One thing I like about the one with the 2 lines is you can see if it is getting darker. I'm trying to focus. So I don't think it's really getting darker at this point. So I don't expect that I'm going to ovulate anytime in the next like couple days. Although you never know, I guess it could surge all of a sudden. So we'll try again tomorrow. I cannot believe that I got a positive ovulation test. Like, I was not expecting that because I haven't been popping the clear blue digital sticks out, so I haven't known if they've been getting darker or not. I kind of want to go back and look at my trash and see if they have been, although I know they're not really like valid days later. But the first response with the 2 lines, like I took one last night and it was stark white, and then the one I took this morning was like definitely negative, and so but then I popped out the clear blue and it was definitely positive. So I don't know what that means. I wonder if the first response are like not very sensitive or something. I'm not really sure, but when I saw that smiley, I was like, it was as good as getting a positive pregnancy test for me. I'm cycle day 17 and like ovulating around like halfway through the month and having like a 32 day cycle. Like, I would be totally fine with that. I haven't had a cycle like that with like where I've confirmed that I've ovulated yet, except for maybe like last month when we weren't trying. So I want to be excited, but I also want to be realistic and like, I don't know, it's tough. You want to be optimistic, but you also don't want to like get your hopes up and be disappointed. So, but it's really impossible not to get your hopes up. It's crazy that like this could be our month, maybe. Like, it's possible, it could be, and I know in any given month for anyone, the chances of actually getting pregnant are like, I don't know, 25, 33%, something like that, like 1 in 4, 1 in 3. So just because we don't get pregnant this month doesn't mean that anything, like we can't get pregnant. But just thinking it's even possible, like, I don't know, it's really exciting. One of the nice things about taking your basal body temperature while you're tracking ovulation is that it can confirm that you actually ovulated. So now that I got a positive ovulation test, I should get a like temperature spike over the next few days, and it should stay high because I think it's the progesterone. Once you ovulate, your body starts producing progesterone, and then you for like the next few weeks, which is what helps like the egg implant, I think, and the progesterone makes your temperature increase. So we'll see if I get a temperature spike as well, and that will confirm it further. So I'm going to do another ovulation test tonight, and see what that says, and go from there. Hey guys, so I just got home from work. I got my first positive ovulation test this morning on the clear blue, and I just wanted to take another one tonight. I've been holding my pee for like hours and to see if the first response would be darker and if the clear blue would show up positive again. So let's check it out.
So that's awesome. The clear blue is positive again, which is awesome. The first response is much darker than it was. I still wouldn't like necessarily call that positive, but I can't believe it. Like 24 hours ago, I took one of these and it was stark white, and now there's like definitely like a legit solid line there. Oh, focus. Anyway, super excited. So the only thing left is to see if my temperature spikes over the next few days. So that will confirm ovulation. So I'm hopeful the tests are correct and I'm actually ovulating. That'd be awesome.